Hey yo everybody, Sobroni of G&A Reviews here, bringing you another Servant Spotlight. This time we're going to be taking a look at Summer Ibuki, which I'm sure is the most, hyped servant of the summer. A lot of people are looking forward to Summer Ibuki, so let's see if she's actually worth rolling for or not. Hint, she is. But first, let's take a look at her stats as well as her ascension as well. So first off, she is a 5-star Berserker. She is Arts, max HP of 12,150 and a max attack of 12,961. Very high attack, especially for a Berserker. She does have that 1.1 attack modifier, so it's an extra 10% damage against everybody for free. She also has, if I'm not mistaken, an actual true Arts Buster deck. It's not triple Buster, so it's quick Arts, Buster, and then Arts Noble Phantasm. So very good in Arts teams for actually getting those triple Arts cards and Arts chains. Talking about her Noble Phantasm gain as well, she has an NP gain rate of 0.38% and a star generating rate of 4.9%. 3 hits on her quick, 3 hits on her arts, 4 hits on her buster, and 5 hits on her extra. But it's kind of irrelevant because as a Berserker, she's not going to be doing much NP generating on her own, at least from her face cards. We'll get into where she gets her NP from in a second. But let's talk about her skills. So, Summer Ibuki has what we call in the business a loaded skill set, a loaded kit. And you'll see what I mean as we go through it. Her first skill is Midsummer Goddess, rank B. Increases the party's attack for 3 turns between 10 and 20%, so it is a charisma. It also increases the party's attack or critical damage for 3 turns between 20 and 30%, so additional crit damage mod there. And then it increases the NP generation rate of Summer Servants for 3 turns between 20 and 30%. Really niche NP gain buff for Summer Servants, but it includes herself, so that's nice. And then for her second skill, she has Summer Cheerleader, rank C, which increases her arts and buster card effectiveness for 3 turns by 30%, and it reduces her skill cooldowns. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a targetable buff, so increases in allies, arts, and buster card effectiveness for 3 turns between 20 and 30%. You'll almost always use it on herself, so, And it reduces their cooldowns by 1. And then her last skill is an NP charge, 50% self NP charge, also generates between 5 and 10 crit stars, and increases her own critical star absorption rate for 3 turns between 3,000 and 5,000%, so Eternal Arms Mastery. It's a loaded kit. Arts Berserker with a 50% NP charge and skill cooldown reduction, and a attack buff that's also a stacks multiplicatively with a arts buff as well, so that's a little over 50% extra damage there. She also has a nice slew of passives. She has Madness Enhancement rank E, which increases her buster card effectiveness by 2%, which would normally be bad, but as an art servant, she doesn't really care too much about her buster cards. She has Dragonkind EX, which increases her buster card. Well, Dragonkind EX also increases her buster card effectiveness by 12%, so fuck what I just said. It's actually a 14% buster card effectiveness boost. And it reduces the damage she takes by 200. And finally, she has Snake God Essence, rank A, which is a damage increase of 250 and a buff removal resistance increase of 20%. She has the standard slew of passives or Append skills, mana loading, extra card damage, and then she also gets crit damage resistance against alter egos, which is possibly the most useless Append skill ever conceived of by mankind, but mana loading is really strong. So, and then for her NP, she has Ibuki no Mitama Hachimakyu Doto, which is an AoE arts attack that removes all enemies' defensive buffs, and it activates before damage, So she can hit through anything, whether it's invincibility, evasion, anything. It deals damage between 450 and 750% arts modifier there, depending on NP level. Reduces their crit chance by 20% for 3 turns. And it deals extra damage against Earth attribute enemies, which is a fair chunk of enemies. So, again, loaded kit. As far as her Ascension mat requirements go, she is going to need 5 magical lamps, 6 black tars, 3 talons of chaos, and 5 demonic flame Hozukis for her level ascensions. And for her skill leveling, she's going to need a total of 9 black tars, 9 magic lamps, 24 seashells, and 10 demonic flames, which at least there's no bronze mat requirements, although the seashells might be annoying for some people, because all the summer servants pretty much need seashells. So yeah, let's talk a bit about what makes her so good. Although I think it's fairly obvious. She's an AoE Arts Berserker that has a 50% NP charge. Oh, and now that the time limit has passed, we can go back to her best ascension, which is this one. Yeah. Sorry, YouTube. You're not demonetizing this video. But yes, essentially, AoE Art Servant, she's a Berserker, 50% NP charge, 2 different damage modifiers that give her over 50% buff to her NP, and a separate NP modifier against Earth enemies, which is a fairly common type. Yes, Ibuki indeed. So yeah, it's not difficult. Her role is going to be a arts farmer, and she's pretty much the best arts farmer in the game. I don't even think it's close. I mean, very rarely do you get an arts AoE servant that has a 50% NP charge, but I mean, like Spishtar, and she's a Berserker. Also, I should mention that her NP does have 5 hits, which is pretty much a lot of hits. So she does get a fair amount of NP refund as well. It just makes her really easy to loop with. She is insanely consistent with her NP looping, especially in double Castoria teams. You can give her Black Grail and she'll go off. You can use her in 6 Lotto CE farming teams very easily. You might need to swap in like a Waver and Oberon for some setups, like maybe if you're up against only Berserkers or something. She might not get enough refund to complete the 3 turn with Black Grail, but it rarely comes up, and it's very easy to compensate for. Also, being a Berserker means that she has a class advantage against basically everything you're up against. It is a lower class advantage modifier than true class advantage, but it's still extra damage against those classes. And her buffs are just pretty strong. The 1 turn cooldown reduction actually comes in handy. You can use her for longer fights as well because of that. She can get multiple buffs off. So she's not too shabby even in challenge quest setups, especially if you're doing those challenge quests that have like multiple enemies, like where it's fucking boss waves. She can easily just wipe them. Yeah, she's the whole damn bakery. Listen, I need y'all to stop being horny. She's good for gameplay too, not just horny. Yeah, Summer Melusine, but she's not out yet. Don't spoil the future. And even with Summer Melusine, she still has the advantage of being Berserker, so chances are if you have her NP2, she'll do more damage than Melusine. So, of all the servants I would recommend rolling for in terms of this summer 7, 150% everyone should be rolling for Summer Ibuki. She is insanely powerful. She does a crap ton of damage with the attack modifiers that she has. She has class advantage against everything. She has a 50% NP charge, which means she's guaranteed to 3-turn everything in Castoria setups. She makes farming ludicrously easy in 90+ nodes even. She's the whole package. She is better than Spishtar in pure arts farming as well. The advantage that Spishtar has is that Spishtar can 3-turn in any setup, quick, arts, or buster, and Ibuki's just arts, but, I mean, arts is the best farming, well, depending on the setup and what you have, arts is still up there as one of the best farming methods. I'd say it's neck and neck with buster, honestly, and she's probably one of the main reasons why. And as far as a pen skill goes, I mean, mana loading is also great. You can pick that up. I would only recommend picking that up. It's not really worth getting extra attack or the crit resistance pretty much ever. Skill leveling, obvious, level the mana loading, or not mana loading, the NP charge first for that 50%. That's most critical. Then you can go for the Arts Buster buff and then the Charisma. Just because Arts Buster buffs more higher damage percentage and then Charisma. Ibuki or Morgan? Oh, Ibuki. Summer Ibuki. I assume you're talking about Summer Ibuki, not regular. If you're talking regular Ibuki, Morgan's better. We're talking Summer Ibuki, Summer Ibuki. But yeah, she's just outstanding. Top, in my opinion, top 3 DPS in the game, at least when it comes to AoE farming. Extremely, extremely strong pickup for anyone, whether you're a new player. Even if you're a new player and you don't have the double Castoria set up for any reason, she's still an excellent pickup for just general DPS purposes. She'll speed you through the story easily. And there's so many art supports that are really easy to get. Even Mosh can be a really good art support for her. God, there's so many art supports nowadays. Who am I missing? Who am I blanking on? I mean, even Mozart is there. A lot of free-to-play art support. Zufu is up there now. If you're free-to-play, NP1 is enough, yes. If you're Whale or you're planning to use her as your main farmer, I would definitely recommend NP2. She does benefit a lot from NP2 because she doesn't have a NP interlude. But, so that's the recommended stage to get her to. But if you can only afford to get her to NP1, she'll still do work. Especially if you also have Castoria, you'll be able to farm most things. NP2 just really hammers home how good she'll be at like 90 plus nodes. So I think it's fairly obvious, but she gets an S from me. One of the best DPS units in the entire game. I still think she's the best arts farmer, even in JP right now with Melusine there. I still kind of prefer Ibuki. That Berserker class really carries her hard. So yes, everyone roll for Ibuki. Do it now. Well, do it when she comes out. And if you don't manage to get her now, there is a rerun next year as well for this summer event. So if for whatever reason you didn't save up now, make sure you save up next year. She's 100% worth picking up, whether you're a new player, you're a free-to-play player, you're a veteran player, whether you have Castoria or you don't have Castoria. She's excellent across the board. No real drawbacks or weaknesses. I guess you can say she's a Berserker, so she dies easily, and she has no defensive utility, so she has no like invincibility or anything, but you're not supposed to use her for that anyway. So that's hardly a drawback. Ubron and OG. Yeah, and I think there is an Oberon Manor coming up in December or around New Year's. So yes, bottom line is if you can only roll for one servant this summer, I would highly suggest Summer Ibuki. S. Does not look like an S. S. S rank. Throw an S up on the screen in editing in post. I'm drooling. Shh. Cut that out. Cut that out.